Hi, my name is Mija. I'm from Taunton, Massachusetts. I grew up in Maine, the only child of hippies from Manhattan and Chicago. My family life now is I think some of the biggest differences are my husband's upbringing. And my husband is the child of a police officer, and my husband is a now retired corrections officer. So his understanding of LGBTQ plus people, I think, was very distorted. Some of the challenges, I think, really were around helping my husband come to terms with the fact that his child is LGBTQ plus, but also helping Kaz come to terms with a father who can't always meet him in that space, but is trying and being caught in the middle. I see now more people who are LGBTQ plus feeling more accepted and comfortable in their own skin publicly, which is not something we saw 30 years ago. But now there are people on the political far right who are trying to make who a person is into a political statement. So Kaz told me that they were bisexual when they were 11. And my primary memory of this really was it was a conversation that we had in the car, which seems to be what happens with so many people. And I don't have any memory of feeling anything but, okay, thank you for telling me that. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change how I feel about you. When Kaz was 13, they then told me that they thought that they were gay and not bisexual. And it really was the same response for me. My biggest concern always sort of underneath things was, again, navigating that space with my husband. I think that as a culture, we box children into this heteronormative way of thinking, and instead of just allowing them to be children and explore all sorts of avenues around who they are. We spend, I think, an inordinate amount of time asking children questions about, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? Again, in a heterosexual type of situation. So I think that the idea of my coming out to my friends, to my peers, to my family around Kaz's identifying as LGBTQ plus, I think that takes a lot of different stages. I think it happens progressively over time. For me, a lot of it had to do with, or the way it sort of happened was a start and stop type of situation, and I always was very cognizant to have conversations with Kaz about what was okay for me to divulge. Even my coming out and talking about my child who is LGBTQ plus is still their story. It's not just my story, and I have to be careful sometimes of who I have that conversation with. Kaz at this stage in their life is really okay with me talking to people about who they are, and I don't really have a problem doing that at this point. It goes back to needing to stand up for my child and showing the world that I'm proud of who they are. So as Kaz came out to myself, to my husband, I was at a point where I needed to be able to talk to people, not so much about the fact that Kaz was LGBTQ plus, but how to navigate that world, with Kaz, how to navigate that world with my husband, and with the general public. So for a period of time, I attended PFLAG meetings in Easton, and my husband came with me once or twice. That type of thing is, introspection is not necessarily something that he does publicly. So I continued to go, I would say for at least a year. Best and worst part of being a parent to Kaz. Worst part really only is the fear that a parent has about their child who may experience difficulties in their life, both emotional, psychologically, but also physically, because of who they are. The best part is, quite honestly, from my college years to my first job working in Boston, and one of my best friends was this gay man that worked at the hospital with me, and we used to get out of work at 11:30 p.m. and go dancing at the gay bars, and I just felt comfortable and right. And so some of the best things about my relationship with Kaz is we go see Lady Gaga together. We like the same music. We can talk about Lil Nas X just put out this new song. Isn't that great? So it's some of that kind of stuff. Kaz loves theater, so we can go to the theater together. So it's that sort of thing. I think some of the best advice I could give to parents who are struggling to come to terms with their child who is LGBTQ plus is to just love them. Your child isn't any different than who they were when they were 6 or 4, and they're not any different than who they're going to be when they're 30. They're still going to be your child, which is the primary thing. I think that if parents really feel like they are having trouble navigating their emotions, that they need to be open to getting the support that they need separate from their child, so that they can come back to that relationship and be a better parent to that child. I think that this project is coming out of the shadows is very important to talk to parents and guardians of LGBTQ plus kids, because I think quite often that is the first place that kids feel stigma, feel abandoned, feel attacked. But it also can be the first place that they feel accepted and loved for who they are, and that can help them as they go forward in the world. It's something that can help them take care of themselves and learn to love themselves if they see that in their family. And having conversations like this where parents can come out and say, yes, my child is LGBTQ plus and I'm proud of it. I love them. They're an absolutely fabulous, amazing person. And underneath it all, that's all that really matters.